What's up? What's going on, you guys? Jacob Darkblade. It's that time of year again whenever I unveil the newest game for the Vex Robotics competition. Now last year, I was able to knock out both competitions in the same year. Well, same day, should I say? But this year they did something different. I don't really agree with it. They're unveiling the EDR game, and then 2 days later they're unveiling the IQ game. Personally, that doesn't work best with me because of my schedule with school and all that stuff. But I'll go ahead and still supply you guys with this video. Now, do not look at the name. I guess they accidentally put Starstruck instead of the name, but this is In the Zone. Now, a little summary on what it says down here. I'll read it to you. You guys can read as well. This game, Vex Robotics Competition In the Zone, is played on a 12 by 12 square field configured as seen below. 2 alliances, 1 red and 1 blue, composed of 2 teams each, compete in matches consisting of 15-second autonomous period, followed by a minute and 45 seconds of driver-controlled play. That's why they call it the greatest 2 minutes in robotics competition, because it's 2 minutes long. The object in the game is and the object of the game is attained by higher score than the opposing alliance by stacking cones on goals, by scoring mobile goals in goal zones, by having the highest stacks, and by parking robots. Now, can I zoom in? Now, this is a very interesting field. We've seen very similar things like this, like Roundup. Yeah, I think it's Roundup where you have to move the rings into the platforms, but the only difference is these platforms can actually be moved into the higher scoring areas. Like, let's say this red cone, you have a few of those yellow cones on it, you can stack it into one of these zones. Or, I don't think you can. This was a possibility. This is my theory. I don't know. You could potentially score it on these higher base of your certain color. Now, going into, and also, I don't know what they mean by parking your robot. I'm thinking that it's maybe like you're starting either on your color side on the border or you're starting on your tiles. I'm not exactly sure. We'll figure out when it comes to competition. It'll probably say here, the game. The details, you guys can read along as I'm saying it here. There are 80 cones that can be stacked on 10 goals, 5 per alliance during a match. Some cones begin in designated locations on the field, while others are available to be entered into the field during the match. Each robot smaller than 18 by 18 by 18 begins a match on one of their alliance starting tiles. Each alliance has 3 zones in which they can place their goals. Alliances earn points by stacking cones on goals, scoring mobile goals in goal zones, having the highest stacks, and by parking robots. A bonus is awarded to the alliance that has the most total points at the end of the autonomous period. Now, I think that they're going to pull something like how they did with Skyrise. It's going to be one of those games where you can stack, but you can also elevate, which they don't really explain thoroughly on this, but what I heard by Karthik, I think that's his name, the sky's the limit. Size doesn't matter, no pun intended. But yeah, let's go into the scoring. So each cone stacked on a goal is worth 2 points. A mobile goal scored on 5-point zone is 5 points. So that's basically, if it's scored, can I actually do this? Can I do this? Let's hope. So if it's scored here, it's 5. If it's scored here, it's going to be 10. And if it's scored, I know you can't see it over here, but in this zone behind that big red one, it's going to be worth 15 points. With addition to any cones that are on. So you might have this stacked. It'll be worth 2 points on the cone. So let's say you have 3 cones on top of the base. That'll be 6 points. And if you have it in the 5, it'll add another 5 points to it. So that'd be 11 points. Now let's... Actually, I think I can just back out to that. Yeah. So... as I said... Well, I'm sorry. That's 20 points. I thought it was 15. My bad. But having the highest stacked in a zone... Again, as we can show... I'm just going to use the taller ones. Let's say... what am I going to do? What color should I use? I'm going to just use red for red. If you have 3 stacked on that pole, but you have 4 stacked there, they'll get the extra points due to having more. So 3 over 4, so they would get the extra point. No. But robots parked at the end of the match, basically that is if they're parked on their color tile. So let's say my bot's parked in the red tile, I'll get extra points for that. And then that's 2 points. And then the alliance with the most points at the end of the autonomous, that's a given. You always get 10 points extra. So, talking about the scoring, we have some really weird objects this year. These cones can be picked up pretty much any way. I believe that it's going to be more of a clawbot game. That's my opinion. We have seen clawbots in last year with, this just recent season of being Starstruck, where you have a lot of bots doing a lot of claw tactics and actually like grabbing a bunch of stars and throwing them over. That was what the majority of the people who were in competition were using. I see the very same thing happening because of how they're shaped. You won't see a lot of people trying to hook the cones. Now, it could potentially work out if someone, let's say, was like doing like a little conveyor belt, but I don't really see that happening with how these are shaped, as they only have one side to go on. As if during Skyrise, you could score on any side because there was basically some PVC piping around it, making a cube. You could pick it up anyway, but I really see a lot of clawbots in this one. Now, I said a lot of clawbots. I saw a lot of people doing catapults last season. With Starstruck, I was wrong. You saw a lot of claws because they're a lot more powerful. But as we've been told, the little colored cones are probably weighted down with some sand or something. So I see a lot of maybe like slower claws, but having a lot of ability to lift heavier stuff. We could potentially see people moving the cones into their zones, but I see the only problem with that is that a lot of teams will do that and then forget about the cones. And while the blue team has all their cones in the 20-point zone, this team's got a bunch of cones stacked on theirs and already in like 10 or all that stuff. But I'm guessing they're going to start off. So if we go back here, there'll be a bot starting here, a bot starting here. And then if we go to blue, they'll be starting back here. But yeah. Let's talk about, I'm guessing the higher up higher up bases. So very interesting, because this is where I'm kind of confused. I'm pretty sure you can be able to get taller and all that, bigger and all that stuff, but will we see those as a major factor in the games? Now, everyone could be asking, well, duh, Jacob, it's part of the game. People are going to want to score on that. But would you really? But my question is, if you could stack all your cones onto the blue plate, blue base, and then take it to your scoring zone, wouldn't it benefit you more having those filled up and like putting a few on these just to get the extra points? Um, and another thing, what we see a lot of people doing a lot of gathering. People trying to like gather all the cones with maybe like a bigger claw with like a smaller claw combined. Like probably a mixture of the two ideas with Starstruck and that stuff. Where they'll get all the cones grouped together and then just slowly and just start picking them up and put them on their own. I wouldn't think so because it would take a lot more time. Maybe we could see maybe people using two claws and being able to like double duty. So they could pick up two claws, have one stack, rise up a little, not on the stacker, and then go down as no. Now, we have a lot of room for our teams this year. They get this whole area in comparison to what we usually have. We usually have the little small confinement. I've never been a big fan of that, but I know the drivers will of course be on one side. This will probably be really beneficial to the whole 2 or 3 person on a team. I'm getting a drink real quick. As I believe a lot of players are going to be, maybe you will have 2 starting over in one side and then 2 on the other. Your drivers and then your co-drivers. Where they can help maybe like place these cones. Well, if I didn't mention, you get, I believe, 7 cones. And then your 2 driver that start on the bot. So you have a total of like 9 cones. You place one on the sidings, and that's basically how you put it on the. That's basically the only contact you can make with the bot, just placing the cone there. Not really a lot with this game. It's a very simple game, but I know we'll see some awesome competition with this. I know I'm saying a lot, but you can fight me. With the whole extra point system, how you get extra points in this game, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm always a fan of the whole elevation, lifting your bot up. I'm just not a fan of that this year. Well, this coming up year. Within the zone, I really think they should do something different than just parking your robot. It would make sense if it was like, oh, do like some elevation with your bot again. Or like do something with the center of this field. I understand the center of the field's where like the cones go, but have something with that. Maybe like do a very round, I think it's roundup, and like have like a little tower there where you can rise your bot up for more points. That's my main. I'm never negative about these games. I just don't like how they're doing the extra points this year. Because it's not hard. This isn't something you can surprise people with. Oh, he scored the 20. He's in the zone. Well, he's in his tile. No, it doesn't make it any special. It's as if you're basically going back to where you start. Now, I could understand with a whole time management thing, being able to like quickly have a fast bot. But I also see with this game a lot of people using the Oni wheels. I think those will be really reliable again this game. This year. They're always reliable with directing your robot in a certain direction for defense. As always, you are able to steal with these type of games. You can probably like take all the cones off. Off a cone and all that stuff. I bet these cones are going to be really expensive, even though they're probably easy to make. probably like a $40 thing for like 2 cones and like a base mount. No, probably like 75, like how they did. They gave you 3 stars and then a freaking cube. That was really dumb of them. It was a very expensive game, but I think this is a more benefit for the major benefit. I think it's a really big benefit for the autonomous mode. I think we'll see a lot of people actually try to do the autonomous, as it's very simple. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be always easy. I'm just thinking maybe like something in the lines of just trying to get the cone on like a red cone, a blue cone, or your towers. Because if they're able to do that, it will really change the game. As yeah, that 10 points is not a lot in comparing to like the others. But that could really change the game here because you automatically get them 10 points. All you need to do is really defend. Maybe like have it so I think the cones you can touch any cone. Maybe like have the blue cones in a defensive position. Defend the blue cones, even though you are on the red team. Defend them so nobody can score. Now, I don't know what the rules are, so I might not be extremely accurate with my information. But I really think that this strategy will really work. Or you could score a lot, put your red cones in your zone for the 20 points, and just work from there. Now, I don't see a lot of people putting like 2 or 3 cones. Well, I probably will see a maximum of 2 base plates in the 20-point zone, and they'll just work from there. I don't think we'll see a lot of 100-point scores in these games. We more than likely will, sadly but surely. But this is all about speed this year. It's always been about speed. This is being strategic and speed. Very similar how Nothing But Net was. You need to be real fast. Well, and pretty much every other game. You need to be able to be fast in this game. You need to have the speed and good, what should I say? You need to be like looking from all sides because you know that someone could be waiting for you to make a move and like something like really helpful to you and then just sabotage it. Like if you put like 10 stars, 10 cones on a base mount, they can just take that the cones, put it on theirs and then drive it away. But that's pretty much all I'm going to say for this game. I know it's not a lot of stuff I'm saying compared to the previous game, Starstruck, but hopefully sometime this week, this coming up week, I will be able to bring you some more information, explain the newest IQ game to you guys. I do not know what game that is. If you figure it out before me, post it down in the comments below. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys leave a comment. I hope you guys subscribe for more. This is Jacob Darkplay. Good luck to everyone in 2017-2018 game in the zone by Vex Robotics. Good luck, you guys. I am out. Peace.